Mm. Hey, everybody, welcome to Do You Believe on Paranormal Zone TV. Thanks, everyone, for being here tonight. I'm so excited. Now, for all of you that are new to the show, if you would please subscribe to the channel, I'd appreciate it. And please give my show a like. There are some people that beat everybody to it, and you can see, so please give the show a like. Now, tonight is episode 3 of the Horsefly Chronicles, The Portal to Hell, The Demon House. And for those of you who have not seen episode 1 and episode 2, I will, after this video is completed and it goes into the archives, I will put a link to those episode 1 and episode 2 on top of the video, so you can watch those first two episodes, and you'll get more of the story. But anyway, tonight I'm very excited to have back Phil Siracusa. Is the Chronicles, and he has written 2 books. The first one is the Horsefly Chronicles, and the second one is the Horsefly Chronicles, a demonic haunting. And hold on for 1 second. I'm going to get Phil and Carissa on the on Skype. Okay. So everyone, I also have I have Phil with us tonight. I have Phil is the author. I have Carissa, who is a psychic medium, and I also have, let's see, Phil and Carissa, and then I also have with us Dave Spinks. Hold on, everybody. We have Skype issues, and Dave Spinks, a paranormal investigator of CRPI, and then we also have Mary Adam, a psychic medium who also was involved at the Horsefly House, and she's going to be online with us as well. Honey, can you please, for those who don't know your story,
yes.
Would you please go over your story to the viewers who are watching the show for the first time?
Yes, first I want to say sorry for all the technical difficulties, whether it's related to Skype, internet, or my house, because we are in what's called the portal. That's where we do the radio shows, and for some reason when it wants to work, it does, so my apologies. However, my name is Phil Siracusa. I am the author of the Horsefly Chronicles, a true life demonic haunting. A lot of people question whether ghosts and demons and spirits actually exist, and I will tell you that they do. Throughout my life, I've been visited, haunted, tormented, and I've had these entities come through what I would say is a portal. In the last couple of years, I had various paranormal teams come to my home and do investigations to help me prove the unknown. Tonight, we will have on David Spinks, Carissa Fleck, and a psychic by the name of Mary as well. Now, I've had over 10 different paranormal teams and groups. I've had almost everybody under the sun that I can think of with credibility to come to the home. And, people say to me, well, do spirits follow you from location to location? The answer is yes. In the first video I did with Noreen back in May, I talk about heaven and hell and my beliefs in it and my theory on how it does exist and where my story started. From there, I was born through adolescence, and I've had nightmares that became night tremors. Those night tremors, I started to see dark shadows. The dark shadows started to appear, and the older I become within my own vision. As time went on, I started to tamper with the Ouija board as a young teenager to learn of my occurrences with the unknown. Well, Ouija board is nothing more than a tool in the shed. It's the intent and the thought process that we have to communicate with the other side. Tell anybody today that this is all real. There's nothing fake about paranormal ghosts and demons and spirits, and even things that are interdimensional. I was lucky to have Dave Spinks come to my home, and he recognized me from Noreen's show, and he asked to come to the house, and with open arms, I wanted another investigator with high credibility to come here. Dave brought all his equipment, and the footage that you're going to see tonight is unprecedented. And it makes my claims that what I said validated, and also we're going to talk about it and what happened to me in the last investigation when I was overtaken by demonic entities.
Mm-hmm. Phil, now this started at a young age. All these circumstances started with you at a young age. This was in your teen years?
No, you see, this all started, I remember in the very beginning of the video when people want to capture it, the first show that we did, I remember being in heaven with loved ones. From heaven, I was pulled into the darkness of hell. And from hell, I came out through a portal of light, a tunnel of energy, and on September 16th, 1967, in Staten Island University Hospital, I was born. So when people ask me, where do these entities come from? I know my claim is very hard to make, understand, digest, and even believe. I get it. But I'm going to say that these demonic entities are straight from the gates of hell. No, I did not see them as I was being pulled into the light, but I could feel the oppression, the negative energy as I was taken back, the emotional love, the conscience of who I was going to be. And that's where this stems from.
But Phil, this happened when you were born. So what happened to you growing up as a child? What was your life like?
Growing up in Staten Island, New York, my life was different. In the sense that the night tremors was so real, I would wake up screaming and still seeing things that weren't there. I remember my parents running into the room and dismissing it as a nightmare. Back in the 70s, ghosts and demons and paranormal, no one really talked about it.
No.
And I didn't understand it as a young child. So it was just growing up and trying to understand what I was dealing with. And when you do that back in the 70s and early 80s, you think that it's either hallucinations, bad vision, or you hear these voices in your mind and you don't know if it's the conscious or the subconscious mind that's playing trickery on you. But when it started to get real, in real time, when I was 13, I remember hearing voices loud and clear within my own mind that they were very evil voices. And I could not dismiss that. And it was like I was hearing things that no one else heard. Now, I am not a psychic or a medium, but the feelings that I get and the vibrations that I pick up is something that now I understand as an adult, that these things are all real, and throughout time they get stronger and are able to almost manifest themselves throughout your life. And what that simply means is this. Someone had told me that because 20 years ago I didn't understand what I was dealing with or even tried to remove it, these entities get stronger throughout your life. So as we get older and stronger and bigger, so do the entities from the other side, because they attach themselves to us. And when they do that, it's like a stronghold that it has on you. And it also becomes impossible at some point to try to break away, because you feel like you're one with it, and it's not a good thing. It's like the veil is blinding you. So, when I started with the Ouija boards in the mid '80s, at first, I did it with a couple of friends. I wanted to see what was following me. I wanted answers. I wanted validation. And the validation came through, and I tried to dismiss it and debunk it and laugh about it with friends. Unfortunately, when it started to become real was that when the plankets started moving in a counterclockwise motion and going very fast in that opposite circular motion, it started to bring a negative energy. And when it did that, the basement in my old home started to fill up with oppression and friction, and then we started to argue. And when that happened, one of my friends had gotten very sick very quickly, and we stopped it not knowing what was happening. But what we did not realize, or I did not realize, is that we were opening up the door that was halfway open, now is wide open, where the entities know that you're a lighthouse. And when they know that, their attraction to you is like a magnet, and they will not leave you alone.
Mm. But isn't there more to the story than that, Phil? It wasn't just the Ouija board. Were there other circumstances?
No, there's a lot more to the story. You know, in my life, I've encountered different things that, again, are very hard for people maybe to understand and comprehend. But I've had visitations. As a young adult, I had visitations from the other side. I've also had visitations from what I would say is alien beings. Now, people are going to say, well, what do ghosts and demons have to do with aliens? To be honest, I don't know. But if you ask me, is there a connection between the both? I'm going to say yes, there is. I remember talking to this being that came through my window, and it was as if it was transparent. And it took my physical spirit over land, upstate New York, and it was talking to me through mental telepathy. Now, I woke up the next day thinking it was a bad nightmare, once again, because a lot of the things that I deal with, you wake up the following day saying it wasn't real, it's not real, it can't be real, I don't understand it because no one teaches us anything about the supernatural, the unknown, and you try to grasp it, you try to talk to people, and I will tell you, Noreen, that, you know, back in the 80s, trying to talk to people about some of the experiences that I was dealing with was not accepted, you know, as friends and teenagers in New York, you know, pretty much you were ridiculed, laughed at, and it was like there's no such thing, it doesn't exist, these things are just an imagination. However, when I was 14 years old, it was a beautiful summer day. I was hanging out with friends in the neighborhood, and I remember I had to go home and use the bathroom, and I was walking in the middle of the street. It was a couple blocks away, and I was frozen in the street. Now, not frozen like ice, but frozen through my mind. I could not move. I remember my friends screaming, "Get out of the way, this car's trying to pass," and I couldn't move. A voice came into my mind, and if you say, what voice was it? It's a voice from, I'm going to first say alien, I'm going to go with that says, are you happy in your life? And I responded back in my own mind, yes. And it says, good, because when your life journey is complete, this is where you will wind up. Now, people say to me today, what does that mean? Mm-hmm. What that means, and the way I'm understanding it is, that in this lifetime, when I cross over, whether it be today, tomorrow, 70, 80 years old, I'm going to go right back where that path was at 14 years old. And people are going to say, why? The answer is, the way I understand this, because I did not complete this life the way it should have been completed, and you have to redo it again. That's the way I'm understanding it from another intelligence. And I've had other visitations. I'm sorry?
Oh, I lost Phil.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Are you still there, Noreen?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, ask me the next question so I could fill it in for you and the viewers. And the listeners as well, of where this is going.
All right, so this you feel that you were contacted by an alien, and have you been in contact since then with this alien that spoke to you?
Aliens, yes.
Aliens.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Oh,
look, a lot of this stuff is hard. Again, it's hard to believe. It's even hard to talk about, to be honest. But you know, my parents purchased a property upstate New York, and where that being had took me when I was 7 years old and was talking to me through my mind, through mental telepathy, my parents wound up purchasing a few years later. So I think that the way I'm understanding that whole aspect of it is that they're way advanced in technology and understanding of our own knowledge, and some of us they contact because they want us to know things that are about to come in our life.
Mm.
And there's been other occurrences that I've had contact, and I've seen things. Now, I'm not going to say that I was on a spaceship, because I was not. I'm not going to say that I shook hands with ET, because I didn't. But here's the but. In 1995, upstate New York, at the same property, it was me, my ex-girlfriend, my family was in the cabin, and this thing was coming down the long road. Now, upstate, the cabins are set back into the woods, and it was a long gravel road. This thing with big eyes, and we thought it was a bear at first, and we're looking at it, and it's getting closer and closer. And now it's about a few hundred feet away, and I'm starting to scream for my father to actually get a gun. But they weren't hearing me. And this thing is getting closer and closer, and then my ex-girlfriend is starting to walk towards it, and I'm screaming for her to get away. So she's about 100 feet away, and then all of a sudden this thing shoots into the woods. Now, what do I think that this thing was? I think it was an alien. And I believe that because I believe that some of us have these encounters where they want us to know that they're around and that they're watching us. They are watching us. Some of us, they want us to know and maybe even share these stories. Now, living the haunted life and being spooked by ghosts and entities of the unknown, I always try to grasp and understand, what do the two have to do with each other? Are they even connected? And I got to tell you that I strongly believe that there is a connection between the both of them. How, I don't know, but I believe that in the spiritual world, that another force of a race and technology is so advanced that they're capable of sometimes implanting things in our own minds that we wouldn't even understand or think of, but yet throughout our lifetime, these things start to come through. Now, when people say, well, when things go bump in the night, what does that have to do with an alien? I've had multiple time lapses in my life. The most recent time lapse was the summer before this one. It was me, Carissa Fleck, and my son, and we were watching a movie. The movie was Signs, ironically.
Oh, I love that movie.
It was 11:30, and when the movie was over, we walked from the living room to the kitchen, which takes 3 seconds. It was 1 o'clock in the morning. Now, we're all not crazy. The clocks just don't fast forward themselves, especially digital clocks that we have on cable TV. And we say to ourselves, what happened here? What's going on? Where did the time go? I'm going to tell you that I believe that somehow there's a connection as well with shadow people, that they're interdimensional, and whether shadow people are actually demonic beings or alien beings, I think there's a connection there, because in my kitchen, a lot of times we see very, very quickly with the corner of our eye, shadow people. Now, I'm not going to say that you see the full outline of them, because you don't. What you see is a very, very quick mist of an outline of a person, and then it's gone. Within seconds, it is gone. And they're very, very fast, and whether they're coming through a portal or whether they're just observing or trying to understand us, I don't know. But a lot of ghostly activity happens after that point in time. So the listener might say, well, what exactly happens? What's ghostly about a shadow person? You feel oppression, you feel negative energy, and you feel friction. When you feel the friction, then arguments start to take place, and you don't even know why you're arguing. Then you hear creaks on the floor and little crackles, and you think it's the house settling. And then all of a sudden, no one's getting along. Absolutely nobody. And it's as if the room was filled with a negative energy that you can't understand it, but yet it's there. And you don't know why you're feeling so agitated at the person next to you. And throughout my life, when I've tried to have these entities, or whatever you want to call them, these beings, or shadow people, removed through either priest or ministry or shaman, the only thing that happens is that it backfires, into the sense that they reflect on our emotions and come back at us in a vengeance. Now, I've also, back in the 80s, I played with the book of Gosher. I purchased it in a witchcraft store in New York City called Magical Child. Gosher was based off of King Solomon's work, and I pretty much call it my own phrase as the Book of Darkness. And what that means is that I was trying to understand that if these entities can be conjured into the physical world, was it possible? Is it real? Do these things actually exist? When we have a strong mind and a strong intent, like we pray to a sick person in a hospital to get better, it's the opposite effect where negative entities or other beings are also listening to us in the physical world. Unfortunately, they're not good, and they want to do more harm than good. And when that happens, and when they're called upon and conjured up, it's as if they're here to do the devil's work. Now, I do not practice Satanism or being in an occult, but I did practice rituals to see if it was real. I will tell the listener that, and it's nothing to be proud of, that when you are brought down a path that negative entities bring you down, they want to live your life, and you're always blinded by what you really see. And what that means is that you walk down the road to the left instead of the right. It's your negative way instead of the positive way. And as that goes on, and that time happens...
Oh, no. I just lost Carissa and Phil.
Oh, my God.
When you called. Oh, my God. Hey, everybody, hold on for a minute, please. 1 second. Hold on.
You couldn't add me back?
Hold on.
I think you had a mic open on your YouTube, huh?
No, I don't have any mics. Okay. Yeah, when you clicked on and I answered it, I lost Carissa and Phil.
You have to hit the plus button.
I did. Carissa.
Something's not right.
This is ridiculous. You know that?
Yep.
I hate the... We gotta... You know what? There's something else we can use. It's called Uvu. And there...
See if you can add them now.
Okay.
I was saying was that I contacted Eastern Paranormal Society a couple of years ago, and that's how I met Carissa Fleck. And then I was going to introduce her to how she got started with the horsefly case, and then how she brought other people in, and then we were going to continue with Dave Spinks.
Okay.
That's where I was leaving off.
All right. I'm going to have to do another show with you because I have so many questions still for you.
Well, yeah, we have a 2-hour show, Noreen. So after Carissa speaks, then Dave speaks, and then we go through some evidence. I want you to hit me with questions.
Oh God, I'll never remember. Let me ask you this right now because I got to know. Your haunting is continuing. It's demonic haunting. You're referring to it as demonic haunting.
Yes.
And
yes.
And I know you've been trying. I know from the shows that I've seen with Dave's Paranormal Investigating, and you have asked this demonic entity to not just leave your house, leave the family, leave you alone. Now, my question is, because you've had contact with aliens, did you ever talk to these aliens and say to them, are you the ones that are bothering us in our house, and would you please go away?
You know, it's funny that you asked that question because a few radio shows ago I had asked the person that was hosting the show, do you strongly believe that these interdimensional beings, these shadow people, are a connection between aliens and demons? And they said there is. You know, I gave up that battle of trying to remove or ask these things to leave whatever I'm talking to because it comes back very vengeful. Very, very vengeful. To the point where, you know, it's very hard to understand it unless you live here of what you have to deal with, and it's not friendly. So you just don't talk out verbally and they listen, or mental telepathy, and I think they're going to listen. Whether it's these demonic entities or another life force, an alien life force, and that intertwine, we mean absolutely nothing in our own words. They don't respond like that. They have their own missions. They have their own way of doing things. And sometimes you don't know what you're battling against. And one of my biggest thoughts were, am I battling against both demons and aliens at the same time? And I had Eric Knapp's team here back in June, and part of the team was filming in the backyard.
Oh no. Skype again. Oh dear. Okay guys, there's an issue with Skype again. Alright, hold on. I've got to do a lot of editing. Alright, hold on everybody, I'm sorry. Are you back? Oh my God. Alright, I'm just gonna leave you. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Okay, go ahead, Phil.
Okay, so basically, where I left off, and I went again for the listener, I'm sorry that this is happening. I don't know if it's because we're in the room that all the activity happens, or it's just malfunctions. I don't even get it at this point. But what I was trying to say is that I contacted Paranormal Teams, and that's how I met Carissa Fleck. And when you asked me, do I try to talk to these beings or demons, there's no correspondence to understanding the way they think and the way we think. Their own thought process is totally different. So when you say, well, leave me alone and leave the house, I won't even say that no more because of the repercussions that I deal with in this home.
What happens, Phil?
Just about everything bad. So here's what happens.
Okay.
The TVs get staticky, and not all the time, but they'll start to get staticky. The cell phones all go dead. Coincidence? Okay, maybe coincidence. The computers won't work. Anything with electronics pretty much is done at that point in time. It's almost done. Within a matter of hours, it's gone. Then the family starts to fight over negative energy. They're just fighting. There's friction. And then you feel like there's something haunting you and tormenting you, and then it bounces around from one family member to the next. And the way I'm understanding how this energy travels, demonic energy, negative energy, whatever you want to call it, it goes from one person to the other person, and it starts to bounce around till the entire family is in an uproar.
Oh my goodness, that. And how long does it, is this on a continuous basis? Does this happen every day?
Almost every day, but I don't talk about removal anymore because the last radio show I was on, I got attacked in this room, and I'm actually, as a 48-year-old man, I gotta be.
Uh-oh. Phil,
Uh,
I'm losing your audio. Phil?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, better.
I want, can you hear me, Doreen?
Better, honey. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what's interfering right now, but so basically, I don't talk about removal because when I do, bad things happen, and I guess maybe this is like another lesson tonight. I'm being, don't talk about being removed. Let me tell you, they listen. Spirits, entities, whatever we want to call them, they listen. And when they listen, and we're saying things they do not like, they cause mayhem in a family and through electronics. And I've seen it over and over and over again. I try to debunk it. I try to say it's coincidence, but it's not. It happens almost simultaneously when you say, I'm going to remove you. So I don't even want to talk about that anymore because it causes problems for myself and the family.
And now, you also had tried to have a cleansing or a clearing in the house. What happened?
So back in May, I had a ministry here. And anybody that comes to my home, I say thank you. Whether you're an investigator, a ministry, whoever you are, I say thank you for the help that you, for trying to help me and my family. Now, there was about a group of 6 or 7 people within the ministry, and they really had a unique tactic to remove the entities. They talked outside in the backyard on the deck about the plan. They came into the basement, a couple of them. They brought dowsing rods and a couple of other pieces of equipment. They found where they believed where portals were, and they did prayers over the portals to shut the portals down. They went back outside to regroup with the rest of the ministry, and then they went to every room in the house, bathroom, bedroom, basement, every single room, and prayed in every room for these demonic entities to be removed. Behind the person that was doing the prayers, another person was throwing salt Behind that person was another person spreading holy water, and behind that person was another person as a sensitive holding out their hands and seeing if the energy was going away. This took about an hour and a half to go throughout the entire home, and then after that, myself and Carissa Fleck had a deliverance. During this deliverance, I will tell you that it went very, very bad. Not that I believe that anything was being done wrong, just that I started to feel like the evilness that was inside of me was actually coming up, and I was told I was speaking words not of the English language. Now, I only know one language, and that's English. And then I felt pure evil, and I remember them making me drink holy water, and other people were starting to pray within the basement. The room was locked, and it was getting violent. And then, as I was being attacked, I recall Carissa was starting to also be attacked in a way where this entity was coming through both of us almost at the same time, but they were two separate entities. And that battle went on for quite some time. I remember being pushed back in a chair and held down by several people, and I was trying to have this entity removed from me. At one point, I felt relieved that it was gone. As I was asked to sit on the other side of the basement, Carissa was still going through a battle with her own entities in the basement. And I remember in my mind, it says, we fooled them, but I wasn't understanding, as one of the people in the ministry was sitting next to me. About 20 minutes to a half hour later, Carissa was relieved of whatever these entities were, and I felt, and my family had felt, that it was mission accomplished in the horsefly case. The next couple of days, the air felt light. My kids woke up that morning, which was a Sunday morning, with tears in their eyes, playing with their toys, and me and my wife looked at each other like it's gone, because we could feel that there was no more negative energy within the home. Unfortunately, when Monday night came, I had to go into the basement and do some paperwork. And when I came into the basement, I seen a shadow, but I dismissed it. And then I seen another shadow. I went upstairs, I got my wife, I said, you better come down here because something's not right. And her first words were, Philip, it's gone. I know it's gone. I says, then just come into the basement with me. And we sat at the couch in the basement, and we started to talk, and then a toy dinosaur that Carissa had purchased to buy my son for his birthday went off by itself. That was about 5 feet away from us on the floor. This dinosaur is not voice or motion activated or light activated. We dismissed it as coincidence because it's a toy. But we seen more dark shadows. My wife says, I'm out of here. I don't want any part of this because I know that it's gone.
Phil, may I say something?
I went upstairs and got my two. Yes.
All right, for those who are watching the show now, what Phil is talking about, in episode 2, we have that little toy dinosaur going off by itself, and Royce Hinman, who is the mod in the show, also sent over to us, he caught a shadow person on the steps in your house. So that evidence will be in episode 2 of the Horsefly Chronicles. Okay, thanks, Phil. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I called my two oldest sons, and I felt it, that something was not right in this house. Now, this is 2 days after the ministry was here. So when they got their cell phones out, I said, start recording. I took that toy dinosaur, I put on top of a slot machine in the basement, and you know when you could feel like something's there, but you can't see it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, that's exactly what happened. And I started to talk to the spirit, and I said, are you here? Can you hear me? And it started to make the dinosaur go off in the dinosaur noise. No, it is not a demonic noise. It's the toy noise. But it went off on command of the questions that I was asking. And I says to myself, now that's too much of a coincidence that we're down here and it just keeps responding on command when it wants to of a question. Now, I remember after that point, my wife was yelling downstairs that the lights on the third floor were going on and off by themselves in the hallway. And what was happening was this entity or entities was traveling up and down. And then my son's TV on the second floor went full blast. I asked on another part of that clip that I'm going to reveal, and I'm going to actually forward it to you, is that I asked the entity to lower the TV if you hear me, and the TV shuts off. Now, you don't see the TV shut off because we're in the basement. But, Noreen, what you're talking about, when that shadow person was caught from one of your viewers, thankfully, that was after the response of the TV being shut off, and the entity was coming back down the stairs and going through another session of communication through that toy.
Wow.
Now, that's fascinating. You have
Yeah.
to say to yourself, how is it possible? How do we understand this entity and this energy, the way I explained it when Dave Spinks was here the first time, of how I explained this static electricity, like a small piece of lightning traveling through the air that's no more than 6 inches to a foot long. That is how this entity travels through the home, and how it affects technology, but yet attacks us physically.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to bring Carissa in on this? How she got involved?
Yes.
Hi, Carissa.
Hi, how are you?
Fine. Do you want to tell the viewers how you got involved in this case?
Sure. At the time I was working with a local paranormal team. I no longer work with them, but they had gotten a case, and as a medium, they don't really tell me a lot of details. They like to have me go in blind. And it was about my third, fourth case, something like that, and I remember getting a call, and all my team founder said that it was a man that thought he was haunted. I didn't think anything else of it, to be honest with you. I just hung up and went about my day. The case was scheduled for 3 weeks from then. But I started noticing weird things going on around my house. I started noticing the gas stove turning on and off, shadows out of the corner of my eyes, and my animals acting really weird. Now, my house is haunted. It's from the 1700s. I do have spirits there, but it was a different energy. It felt like whatever was entered into my home was just watching me. It had pretty bad intentions, but I didn't really know what. You know, at this time, I didn't believe in demonic entities at all. And I remember a few days later, after weird things just kept continuing in my home, I started having demonic-like nightmares. Now, what do I mean by that? I would seriously get about 3 hours of sleep every night. I would have the same dream, and it would be this demonic-like entity attacking me in different scenarios, the same entity. And I would wake up frozen. I couldn't move. I started stocking up on everything that I could. Holy water crystals, every religion that I could think of that had protective things, I was stocking up on them. I didn't know what was going on, but I was scared. Then the physical attack started. I remember I was laying in bed, and I saw a green orb with my eyes. When the green orb got to the middle of my ceiling, my cat ran away hissing.
Mm.
It was at that point that I got sexually attacked. And I don't go into detail about that, you know, it's kind of personal and it still bothers me to this day. But I remember jumping into my bathtub, filling up my bathtub with holy water. I don't know why I had it in the bathroom, but I just remember just dumping it in my bathtub and jumping in. When I jumped in, I got 3 gashes in my thigh that appeared and disappeared. You know, I almost didn't go to Phil's house. Everyone on my team at that time did not want me to come, because I was so new to the paranormal world and I was getting targeted. But I felt that I had to go. It was almost like a calling card, and I felt drawn to go and see why these demonic entities were targeting me. Because at this point I did believe it was demonic after what had happened to me and visited my home. And I remember as soon as I walked into the door, it was the same. It's the only way I can describe it to people that don't have abilities is it's like seeing a familiar face. You know the energy when you feel it. You know, the investigation went on. It was a really active night, and the whole time during the investigation, the entities kept hinting that they knew me, and they knew where I lived. I actually still have the EVPs. They kept saying weird things. At one point, I actually got my address, the number, to my address on an EVP. It was just very intense, and I felt targeted throughout the entire investigation. Towards the end of the night, I remember we were sitting down with Phil, and I was kind of telling him the things that had happened to me before coming and the things that had happened during the investigation. I played back some of the evidence. I didn't tell him too much because I didn't want to scare him. But I remember telling him enough where his jaw kind of dropped, and he's like, I know that. I didn't tell anyone that. And I was like, this is what came to my house. And it was kind of that point that I developed a friendship and connection with the family. I told them, I love you all, but I'll never set foot back in this house again. I was petrified, and I was almost out of the paranormal world at that point. I was ready to go. But, you know, I stayed in touch with the family over social media, and I saw that they were having a hard time proving that this case was real. And I knew it was because of what had visited my home and tortured me. And that's when I decided to get involved again and to go back to the house. And my friendship and connection with the family got stronger and stronger, and they asked me to move into the house for 4 months to document the haunting. So I did.
Wow. And now, when did you call Dave in?
Dave came in later on in the case, not that long ago, actually. You know, he had actually seen us on your show the first time, which I'm still thankful for, and he had contacted Phil. So Phil just sends me to contact everyone that contacts him to get involved, and I kind of screen the people. And I liked Dave right away. We talked on Facebook prior to that, and so we set it up for Dave to come. And when Dave came to the house, I could tell that he was skeptical, which I liked. You know, I honestly like skeptics. I like people that come here and try to debunk this case because that's what I try to do. You know, I am a medium, but I'm also a scientific person. I try to bring the evidence to my abilities. So I hit it off with Dave right away, but as soon as he walked in the basement, you could kind of see the skeptical look fade off his face. He heard his first growl pretty much as soon as he walked down the stairs.
Yeah. I think we just lost Dave. You know, let me call Dave on the phone. I don't know what's going on. Let me see if I can get Dave. Phil,
Okay.
I wanted to play this audio that was given to me that I don't know what happened. Were you in your house talking with your son?
Yeah, I want to tell you what you're listening to, and what you're listening to is scary, real.
Okay.
Recording on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
My wife was recording my 5-year-old. He was in front of the TV, and he was playing episode of Injustice. It's a cartoon that kids watch. And when he was doing the hand movements, you hear a voice say, "Let me do Injustice, watch." Now, my wife, before she put it on her own Facebook page, she played it, and she called me in the house. She goes, "You better listen to this." I listened to it about 600 times to try to debunk it, but I was like, oh my God. Like, what you're listening to is that my son turns to the left, and he's actually acknowledging the voice. And I want you to play it for the listener, and what you hear is clear as day, is a voice from the other side in a complete sentence.
All right. I have 3 clips. So what I'm going to play first is the one with the talk over with your son and the second voice. So I'll play that one first. And I lost Dave. Okay. All right. So hold on. Let me play this first one.
Justice watch. Justice watch. Justice watch. Justice watch. Justice watch. Justice watch.
All right. So did everybody hear that?
We actually could not hear it.
Well, no, because you don't have my YouTube on, right?
Yeah. No.
Okay, let's
I know
see.
from up here.
Oh, okay. Did everybody hear that? Did every hear? Okay, so Dave heard that as well. Dave, I'm going to call you on the phone in a minute. All right, so that was the talk over with both voices. Now, I'm going to play the next audio clip, Phil, of the unknown entity, okay? I'm going to play that. I'm going to play that one next. All right, hold on.
Let me do justice. Watch. 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 Let me do justice. Watch.
All right. So now the next one will be your son's voice. So I'm going to play that one now, your son's voice.
Vengeance, justice, watch. Vengeance, justice, watch. Vengeance, justice, watch. Vengeance, justice, watch.
Noreen,
Yes.
that's actually the unknown entity.
Oh, the one I just played?
Yes, that is the voice that we got the sentence.
Oh, okay, okay, I guess I reversed them because I had one of the son, one of the unknown, and the first one was the two of them talking together.
Yeah, see, what had happened was I tried to debunk that voice. You know, I was there when it was recorded. I was outside with Phil and the rest of the children while Julia and the other child were the only ones in the house. And so the next day I tried to debunk that video, even though I knew it was real, but I wanted to try and prove it. So I recorded the son saying the same sentence that we heard, and he can't even make out the words. But the voice that you're hearing that you just played for the audience, that is the entity. And if you can tell, it's way more intelligent than a 5-year-old's voice.
Okay, the younger sounding voice is your son, right? Oh, okay. The younger sounding voice was your son's.
The one that's unable to complete the sentence is the 5-year-old.
Okay, well,
yes.
okay, yeah, okay, okay, then I got it mixed up.
Yes.
So I'm gonna play this voiceover one more time. Listen to this.
Vengeance, justice, watch. Vengeance, justice, watch. Vengeance, justice, watch. Vengeance, justice, watch. Vengeance.
There's a 30-second delay. All right, so the one I just played, everybody, that was with the two voices. The voice over Phil's 5-year-old son.
Yes.
Okay. And that's pretty creepy, Phil.
That's creepy, and that is real time. Let me tell you and the listener that, you know, for those that don't believe, try to debunk, I would pay a lot of money for somebody to debunk that, because I have to sleep with one eye open. There is no debunking a voice that comes from absolutely nowhere, period.
And it doesn't even sound like any of us. You know, what I didn't send you, we actually did clips of the entire family, including me, saying, let me do this Injustice watch. It does not match up audibly to any of our voices, not as if any of us were in the house anyway. But we did it to prove it even further.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and if you listen to it, it's like a mixture of a boy-girl voice if you listen to certain words that it's saying.
It just sounded like maybe like a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old boy to me when I heard it. But the little boy, I figured that was your son with the little voice. I'm gonna see if I can get Dave on now. Hold on, okay?
Okay.
Dave, I'm calling you.
Hello.
Okay, hey Dave, what happened to Skype, honey?
It
kicked me off.
Oh God,
My signal's good.
that's. Do you want us to try and get you back? But then I don't want to lose Phil. Can I just keep you on the phone?
Yeah, you can add me back. It's not going to do, Phil. It kicked him off when I called you.
I don't want to have to
If
lose.
you add me, all you got to do is add me.
Oh my God. I'm afraid to do that because I can't. I don't want to lose Phil again. Can I just keep you on the phone?
I guess.
Okay. Because I don't know how to do this, Dave. I'm not. Okay, so I'll try one more time. All right, so just add you.
Why is it buffering? Yeah, you just find my name and click on it and then add to call.
Okay.
Why is it buffering?
Are you still have a live feed going through this?
Your show, yeah, I'm on my cell phone on the...
All right, so I'm going to add you. Dave Spinks.
It's nothing to do with Skype.
Add. All right, I'm just adding you now. So it's calling. We've never had this many problems before with
Because
Skype.
their shit's all fucked up.
Who's off? Who is? Me?
Their Skype is all screwed up.
All right,
We're on a different device now, though.
are you getting the call now, Dave?
Uh-oh.
All right, bye.
All right, are you on now?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm hanging up on the phone.
that's what that feedback was.
Okay. All right. So now I got Dave. As soon as your video comes up, and we have Mary Adams in the background. She's waiting. All right. So while Dave is getting up, Mary, you were now you were called in as well. What did you take? What was your part in this? Mary, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. What was your part?
So Carissa just called and asked me, she gave me an address and asked me to come to a house. I really had no idea of what I was walking into, so it was quite an experience.
And what was your experience at the house?
I've never felt anything like that in my life. You definitely can feel that negative energy, especially in that room downstairs. But I felt it in various parts of the house, outside. I felt like I was watched. Out back especially, I got extremely nauseous and had such a headache. It was just intense. It was really intense. Lots of things happened that night.
How many times have you been back at the house?
I have not been back since.
Just that one time?
Yeah.
How would you feel about going back there again?
I would definitely go back. I mean, I feel drawn to that house and to Carissa and that family.
Have you any idea what's going on in the house?
Right now or then? I mean, what did I experience?
Then, now, yeah. What is going on in the house?
I mean, I felt a younger girl there, like under 10. I sensed her presence. I didn't know why she was there. I also sensed an older male that I feel like he thinks he has to protect Phil for some reason. And I don't sense that he was a very positive entity. And that was John.
And who's John?
I believe he's one of the spirits that's attached, or entities that's attached to Phil, if I'm correct.
Yes, you are, Mary.
Okay. I just sense especially when you walk in the basement, at least for me, it was a very heavy feeling. In the backyard, you felt like a lot of things were watching you, but I didn't feel that heaviness as pronounced as when I was in that basement. I did not want to be in that basement.
Did you feel threatened?
I didn't sense that they were good or had good intentions, but I didn't feel threatened. I think because I felt safe with Dave and Phil and Carissa, so I didn't feel like I was scared, but I didn't feel threatened, honestly. I just felt that they were not positive and they did not want us down there.
Now, being a psychic, are you able to Were you talking with them to try and get some answers, or were you? How did you try to communicate with them?
Well, Chris and I were downstairs with the spirit box, and we did ask what they wanted, and they told us to leave and to die. And
Oh, that's nice.
they called us not so nice names. But no, she did more of the talking. I don't have a huge experience with this, and this was really my first time. I read tarot cards, and I believe I'm a sensitive and I'm an empath, but I've never dealt with anything this intense, or it's just it was an overwhelming experience, but I definitely would go back there.
Was there any other names that you were able to come up with that might be in that house?
The little girls, Sarah and John, they were the two that I felt. Any other names? No, I didn't sense any other names, but definitely other presences.
When they said for you to get out of the house or leave the house, did you respond to them?
I don't think we did. Did we, Carissa? I mean, we asked why, but
yeah, we didn't really respond too much.
Okay, Dave, are you still there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Mary. Is there anything else you want to say about Phil's house?
No, it's just anybody who says that there is not something there is definitely never been there or never experienced anything like that. There is definitely a lot of activity there.
Well, thanks so much for joining us tonight, Mary. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, Dave, I'm bringing you in now. Dave Spinks. Dave, would you tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, please?
Oh, yeah. I've been investigating the paranormal since 1986 as a young man, and been in the military for 9 years in the Air Force. Then I went on to be a federal law enforcement officer for another 11 years. And I recently retired in 2011, and now I pursue the paranormal full time. And in between my working life, I did it when I could. So I've been doing it for many, many years. I've worked with many, many people in the paranormal, big names you've seen on TV and more. I enjoy working with anyone in the paranormal to see their takes on things and how they do things. And we kind of share, our different techniques. And it's all in order to bring us closer to maybe get some answers to what's actually going on in these haunted locations.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Dave, let's talk about Phil's case. Now, you've been there several times, and I know you were watching the show the first time I had Phil on, and you were very interested in his case. And
yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm always interested in, any claims of the paranormal. That's what I do. I try to document evidence and give validation to some of these claims, or debunk them. And I think it's important to try to help folks as best I can in these types of situations. And after your show, I think Carissa and Phil were both in the chat room in the first show you had them on, and I said, man, I'd love to go up there, and they both invited me with open arms. So long story short, I've been there twice and experienced some pretty amazing activity there both times.
Mm-hmm. I know you were very interested because we had talked about this case after the show, and I know Phil gets negativity feedback about this, and I'm really happy that you had gone there, Dave, because of all paranormal investigators, I knew you would be the one to get evidence and information for Phil. And you did an awesome job.
Well, thank you. You guys know me, I don't pull any punches. If I don't think there's any kind of activity there, I'm not going to say there is. So, because that just hurts the field in the long run. And what I was able to do and validate, in my opinion, was a lot of Phil's claims and Carissa's claims. So, and we also brought Mary in on the second investigation to get another, just another feedback from another person that has never been in the location. And as you heard from her, she experienced some pretty amazing stuff as well. So when you tie all those things together, the claims of this and that, and the things I experienced, the things she experienced. You know, it gives it a lot of validation, and that's what we've tried to do.
Mm-hmm. Now, let's see, episode 2 of the Horsefly Chronicles, I had you on as well, and we presented some evidence again at that time, which was really awesome. And tonight, we're going to be doing the same thing because you went back for a second time.
Yes, and I also, the second time, I did live because Phil requested me to do live. And as you guys know, when you do a live investigation, there's a lot of things you miss because with all the things that are going on, you're trying to listen to the ghost box or whatever device you're using. There's a lot of things you actually miss during the live investigation. And I also had, I believe I had 6 different cameras during the investigation as well as the live camera feed. So, you know, when you've got all this stuff going on, you're listening, you're trying to get responses, you hear some of them, sometimes you think you heard this, but it really wasn't that when you go back and review it. So when I was reviewing the cameras that I just had running as static cameras that were not the live feed, holy crap, we got some responses on the Vocubus and different ghost apps that I was using that just, it took me literally 3 months to go over this because it was so chilling. The responses we were getting were validating everything Phil had told me almost to a T. Very, very negative, very evil, very threatening, and you know, basically you just got to see the video. Like I was telling people in the chat as well, there's a whole new video on that whole section that's going to be released right after your show, so people can go over and watch the whole video. I gave you a bunch of clips to show on your show, so you know, let people make up their own minds. And it's like Phil says, like he's got a saying that I really love: "What you see is what you get." And that's what you get with the Horsefly House. You know, I mean, it's the real deal, folks, in my personal opinion.
Now, Dave, you wanted me to, you want to set this up. I'm showing a clip that you gave me that you wanted me to show, and that's with you interviewing Phil while he was sitting downstairs in the chair.
I also mixed in some clips from the first investigation as well as the second because I think it's very important to show what he was telling me before we show another clip later on that validates his claim. So listen closely to what he's saying, and then you'll understand why we're showing these clips.
Okay. Dave, are you going to be able to listen to this with earphones on YouTube?
I could probably do that, but it's going to make it feedback.
Oh, okay. No, don't. That's all right. All right, I'm going to go ahead and set this clip up now and play it, okay?
All right.
I don't know if Phil and Carissa will be...
What number are you playing first, the numbers that I gave you?
Oh, no. Well, first I'm playing the one with Phil sitting down and you're interviewing him.
Oh, okay.
That's the first one. You told me to play that one, so I'm going to play that one. So hold on.
And we have it going so we can see it and hear it too.
Okay, but we won't be able to hear the audio. You have earphones?
No, I'm putting you on mute when it's playing.
Okay.
I'm going to get my earphones.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and play this clip now.
The biggest portion of the basement where a lot of activity happens is in the room right behind you, Dave.
Okay.
That's the room where me and Carissa Fleck do radio shows. And every single time we do a show, something happens in that room where something is watching everything that's being done.
Can you tell the camera, give us like 2 or 3 of the most extreme things that you've experienced down here in this basement?
The most extreme things that have happened in this basement is the shadow person. That entity will come and go in a flash, and you think that you're seeing things with your eye. The second thing is that when you see lightning in the sky, I describe it, this is what I'm seeing. It's like a foot long. It's a dark energy that tries to manifest itself when we're doing these radio shows in that bedroom. And, you know, you think it's your eye playing trickery or some kind of vision problem, but then this thing is actually moving. And then it goes away. The biggest portion...
Okay. Dave, do you want to talk about that clip again?
Yeah, remember it's on 30-second delay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, basically what it is I wanted you to show this because listening to what he's saying, okay, and you'll understand why when we show a clip later on down the road.
All right, now the next clip you wanted me to show, you want to set it up. It's with Phil sitting in the chair, and
Yeah,
okay.
This is one of the most crazy, insane things we've ever captured, as far as validation goes, in my personal opinion, that I've ever captured on video. And this all happened live. We didn't see what we captured live until after we were kind of going over the live show from the night before, and when Phil saw something and started looking at it. So what you're going to see is, are you going to show all three, right?
I'm going to show. Well, I'm going to show the first one, and then I'll come back to you.
All right. So just show the first one.
All right. This is really creepy, guys. All right, I'm going to play it now, Dave. Oh, I don't see any audio. All right, hold on.
Should be the minute 30. Now you're showing the slow-mo. You gotta show the minute 30-second one.
All right, hold on, everybody. Hold on. Okay, so is it this one? Oh, yeah, the 31? Okay, sorry. I'm showing this one. I had the wrong one. Here we
Phil,
go.
can you repeat 3 times Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior and see what happens? However you want to. See if that antagonizes that. Do you think it will? Or does that make you uncomfortable?
Okay, this is how it happened live.
Huh? Are you okay? Hey, Phil. All right, guys, I'm gonna have to stop the session. I'm gonna have to stop it. Hey, I'm gonna have to stop it. Yeah. Stop. Hey, stop that. Phil, you passed out? Did you know you passed out? Hold on, guys. He passed out. I gotta take him outside. Oh my gosh. Come on. Let's get out of here for a minute. This way.
Okay. All right.
Still going.
Well, that's okay. We're recording. All right. So the next one, Dave. Do you want me to?
Let me tell them what happened.
All right. Go ahead.
Stopped it short. All right. What happened was I wanted to try to validate some of Phil's claims in the room where everything supposedly happened. So I put him in the room, and I had a Oculus app running, and I wanted him to say, "Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior" 3 times in order to see if there was truly a negative spirit in there or entity, to see if that would provoke it in any way whatsoever. And you saw the response off of the app. At first it said Phil, then it said demon. And then Phil didn't say anything, and I was watching him for a few seconds, and then the ghost box said, "Goodbye till then, Sarah." Now, Sarah is one of the entities that they claim is in the around Phil and in the house all the time. So that's validation right there. Got that name on that ghost box. Then I noticed Phil's head was sagging as he was trying to say, "Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior." So the key part of that was he passed out, and then what we didn't see live with our own eyes at the exact same time, there's a really weird light anomaly off to the right of the and lower part of the screen, and it moves intelligently, it changes direction, there's no wing flap, it's definitely not a bug. And you'll see, Maureen will show you some more clips of it, super slow-mo, and then a still picture of it so you can really see what it looks like, so you can show them as well.
Okay, so...
And I had to pull him out of the room because he passed out physically.
Okay, so... which one do I show then? The 19-second one where it's slowed down?
Yeah, the first one you put up.
You know, I got another one here, but I don't know... this one's 39 seconds. All right, I'll play the 39-second one. And see if it's wrong. There's a 39-second one and a 19-second one.
Yeah, play both of them. Play 39 and then 19.
Okay.
Now, there's no audio in them. It's just visual because of the slow motion.
Oh, I'm playing it again. All right, I'll play the 19-second one now. This one's just repeating.
And I wake him up, I shake him, I said, Phil, Phil.
Oh my God, that was so...
So, not only did it affect him physically, you know, we got responses of a negative nature on the application and video evidence of something very, very strange that I cannot explain whatsoever. And there's also a still picture. Why don't you show him that, Maureen? Kind of zoom in up close on it.
Oh, I don't have a still picture.
I didn't send it to you?
No.
Okay, well, they can see it on my video. They watch the video after the show.
All right, now, what about these audio files?
Okay, the audio clips are of other cameras I had running that were not on the live feed. And the responses that you will hear are just, they blew me away. It's just bone chilling.
All right,
It's
so...
all annotated. They'll see it, they're annotated.
All right, all right, so...
It's in order.
Okay, there's 8 files, and I'm going to play 1 to 5 first.
Okay.
Okay, hold on.
This is very important, guys, because it validates a lot of their claims. So, you know, all this put together.
I heard my name.
You heard Phil?
Yeah. I heard it for like...
Can you tell us her name? Mary.
Very.
Did you hear that?
Sarah, why didn't the deliverance work on me? This is Phil. How come the deliverance did not work?
We're not going away. Is that what you want, Phil, to leave this house? Is this your house? Do you feel this is your house?
Did you hear that?
What was that? Yeah, what was that?
That was over there. John, why are you so angry?
Yeah, that was awesome. I remember listening to that. Oh my God. Those were awesome. That was awesome audio.
You talked over that.
Pardon me?
You talked over that last one.
No, it finished.
Okay.
It finished. I'm seeing it on my screen. All right, so let's do 6 through
6,
8.
7, and 8.
Oh, I lost Carissa and Phil. Are you still there, Dave?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Okay.
It's probably their house acting up.
Yeah, it probably is. All right. I'm going to play for them. I'm going to play for them 6 through 8 now. Okay. Do you want to do you have anything to say about it, or just want me to play it?
There's more of this, but really, really dark stuff.
All right. I'm going to play it now.
That sounds really dark, man.
You are one of the 72 demons that I summoned up in the 90s in the book of Gosha. And you will leave. I will not be threatened by you, and my family will not be threatened.
Demons. Did you hear that?
The deal was broken.
Rape.
I'll rape it, so.
Are you the one that raped me? Did you rape me? Ask them.
Gosha. Did you hear that? How many of you are here because Phil used the book? How many, though?
Yeah, 7.
Have you ever got that number before?
I've always said there's 7 mean entities here.
You are going to leave.
7. What do you want with us? To die. You can't get rid of us.
You will leave. And you will take your demon friends with you back to hell where you belong. And you will leave everybody alone.
Oh, we will.
Dave is just bringing the communication devices to this home so that I can talk to you. But you will leave.
Really lightheaded, man.
My heart's still hurting.
That was crazy, Dave. Insane.
Yeah, so full sentence responses, guys, and
Oh, Dave, your audio's acting up. Dave, your audio's acting up. We can't hear you, Dave. Oh, that's so weird. Dave, you sound like you're underwater.
Well, somebody's trying to call in or something, I don't know.
Well, we lost Carissa and Phil.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah, so, like I said, it's very, very compelling. Full sentence responses. it validates a lot of Phil's claims using the Book of Gosha. It said it it said it right on the apps, you know, and with that audio and that video, and then all the stuff we were experiencing there. I mean, it said, and all of the stuff we captured is not, you know, you obviously you can't show that all on your show, but like I said, the video will be released right after your show tonight, and they can watch the entire investigation of that night, and it's pretty insane. I have to say.
Oh yeah, yeah. So after my show, go over to Dave's show on YouTube. What's your channel, Dave?
Bureau's Paranormal TV on YouTube. And I will release it to the public. Right now it's private, and I was waiting until after we talked about it, and then I'll release it.
And you've got to watch it. I saw it last night. I got to see it last night. It's pretty awesome. Now, is there any way we can get Carissa and Phil back, Dave?
Yeah, try to.
Yeah, we're right here.
Oh, yay! Okay, did you hear any of that? What we were playing?
We heard a decent amount of them. I think we almost heard them. Our about it as soon as the EP started to play.
Okay,
we did hear a lot of them.
Okay, your audio is really breaking up really bad.
Hello?
Yeah, that.
Well, you guys are going to be amazed at this.
Hello?
Oh yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, yeah, we heard them.
Pretty amazing.
Full responses, guys. Full sentences.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty amazing that when I was talking and I said, what do you want? It said the woman who died. I think that it was pretty amazing. It said Dave's name, Mary's name, Phil's name. I heard it clear as day. I also heard Seven clear as day.
Gosha.
Oh, yeah, you wait. You gotta see the rest of it. You're gonna be blown away. It's
yeah, I can't. You know, I can't wait to see it. I'm gonna see it as soon as we're done the show. I'm gonna watch it.
That's one reason it took me so long to get it out, guys, because it literally it sent chills up and down my spine every time I was reviewing evidence, and I had to stop because, like I told you, you guys have to do a first investigation, and I thought someone really followed me home from there. So, you know, it is what it is, but. It took me a long time to get through all that video footage and everything. So I wanted, you know, and the more I did it, the more stuff I got, I was like, oh my God, this is insane. So, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. Phil, on one of your interviews I heard you say that all deals were broken. Can you tell us about what the deals were? Are you allowed to talk about that?
Well, back in the early 90s, when I started to perform rituals, I was summoning up what I believe was demons through the dark book of darkness. And when I was doing that, I was calling out each demon by what I believed was its name to help me combat my enemies in the physical world. And there I did that, driving to the nearest cemetery and performing another ritual, that something was leading me to do this, because I don't study it. I don't read books on how to do it. Just this one book was like a magnet to me, and I was trying to bring these entities to understand me and to combat things. And I made a deal out verbally to them, and I believe that that's when I was talking about trying to break away from these things, these entities. You know, I will say this, that you don't have to see things in order to believe it, but it does exist, and we have to be careful what we wish for, what we ask for, because these unknown elements that are out there can destroy life. And then when I had asked for that deal to be broken off, unfortunately, it's more than words, and they just don't leave.
And trying to break that deal, what did you do to try to break the deal? Is that when you brought in that group to try and cleanse the house, or was this before? Can you hear me, Phil?
Well, back in 2002, I had working with this Yes, can you hear me?
No, barely.
Hello?
You sound like you're underwater.
I don't know what's going on. Every time Phil talks, he kind of loses stack. Can you hear me?
Barely. Try and talk again,
Okay.
Phil. Try and talk closer to the computer or the microphone or whatever.
Yeah, can you hear me now? We're actually in the room because the only room that's private in the house. It's the most haunted room, but this is the only place we can actually radio shows. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, better. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're not alone. I just want the listener to know that we're not alone in this room right now. She got touched. I'm seeing things out of the corner of my eye. So, once again, it's obviously interfering with us through electronics, and it's listening to us. But it doesn't like me to talk about removal, or I think that's why some of this stuff is actually happening, because it's like here with us.
Okay. Oh man.
But I try to break the deal of separating myself from the spiritual world to the physical world.
I lost you. There. Okay, go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, things are happening to us right now in the room. Carissa just got, what happened? She just got pinched, and it's here. This is what we're talking about. This is why we're not getting through on the phone. It's here, in the room, right now, as we're speaking. It's like, we don't really see what's happening, but you can feel it, listening. It's here. And it's trying to attack us. It's between both of us right now. And the cell phone feels like it's 90 degrees. But I'm trying to do the best I can to deliver the questions that you're asking me. So let's go to the next question that you have in mind.
Oh, I just wondered. I was curious about the deals and how many you had made. I didn't realize that you were contacting and naming out the demons. How many were there? 72 or something?
Yes, 72.
Oh, you need to
name those in the video, guys. You'll see some of that.
Oh my God. And therefore the deal is not broken. They won't leave you alone.
Yes, that's correct.
And
they won't leave them alone.
Dave, are you going back to do another investigation at Phil's house?
If they invite me, sure.
Yes.
Yeah, Dave really needs to go back there. Phil, are you in the process or have thought about possibly trying to get somebody else out there that can help you and your family and cleanse the house and get rid of these demons?
We can't discuss that because we're going to be haunted tonight really bad. So I can't even answer that right now.
Oh, you can't
because
talk?
we're being watched.
Okay. All right.
We're in the room where Dave shot the video where that thing was moving around, and we're being affected really bad, so I'm just being very careful on the questions.
It sounds really dumb, but,
No.
it's actually in between both of us, and my elbow's being pinched, and he's feeling something on him. The phone's burning up. I mean, every time you ask about removal, the phone breaks up. We just don't feel comfortable and safe talking about that in this room.
Would there ever be a time that I could have you on the show where you're not broadcasting from your home? Where you could actually talk and be frank about everything? I think that would really be awesome if we could do that.
We might get better service, too. You never know. Maybe you'll actually see us.
Phil,
That's
when...
another game, too. Phil and Chris and Mary can attest how many batteries that I burned through that night. Brand new 4-hour battery. It's just sucking the juice right out of them.
So many batteries.
Phil, do you remember what happened to you or what you were feeling that night when you passed out?
Oh my God.
What?
Did you hear that?
No. What?
Voice.
This is not good. It's messing with us so bad right now that it's even hard to believe what I'm about to say.
Oh.
It's replaying Carissa's voice, and it's something she said 2 minutes ago, and it's playing it now over the phone, and we're hearing it. It's messing with us, but okay, so you're over evil. That's the way I could describe it. It takes all your energy away, like it takes energy out of a battery. When it takes that energy out, it fills you with pure feeling of hatred and evilness and evil thoughts. That's what's replaced. And when that happens, the entity or entities, how many there are able to control you and me when it's happening. And Dave had snapped me out of it. Luckily, I got out of the room, but there was a part of the video, Dave, that I don't think you've seen it. When me and you were in the room, about 45 seconds later, that thing came back around again and went on the chair.
Yeah.
Did you see that, Dave?
Yeah, I did see it. If folks want to see that, they can go watch the whole live feed and find that part, and they will see it. It after we left the room, it was in there doing its thing again.
Wow.
And yes, go ahead, Nori. I'm sorry, I'm just getting really dizzy. But go ahead.
Oh no! I think we're gonna end the show because I need to edit some of this stuff out, and if I go over 2 hours, I won't be able to edit it. Well, I would really. I'm really sorry this is happening to you right now tonight, and I hope I'm not causing any problems, but I would really love to talk with you and get some really frank answers from you when you're not in your house, where you can broadcast with video so the viewers want to see you, but of course they can't see you because there's no video tonight. Either that or you work on your video so we can have another show where the viewers can see you. So, this way, if you're not in the home, then we can talk without you being affected. Honey, you're completely breaking up, Carissa.
I said we can do it from my house as soon as I get back from Seattle if you want.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome. That would really be awesome. And I'm hoping Dave will go back too, so Dave can also present evidence again like we've done before. I would love to do an episode 4 with you. Well, Phil and Carissa, I want to thank you so much for coming back on the show. It's always
Thank you for having us.
Phil, my heart goes out to you. It really goes out to you, and I believe your story, and I know I've dealt with some negativity toward it, and I've answered people's questions to please. You don't know. You cannot say, oh, this guy is nuts, or I don't believe him. People, you can't say that about somebody because you're not in his place. And for people to say things like that, I don't understand, I know it's hard to believe. It really is. It is. When I first heard your story, I didn't know what to believe, Phil. But each time I have you come on the show, I'm hearing more from you. And actually, the second show that we did, you really opened up and you said more. You told me more than what you did on the first show. And I'm hoping that one of these days that you will even tell me more about your story, because I know, I truly in my heart believe that you're holding back and you're not telling everything. And I don't know if you ever will, or if it's something you're going to hold and keep private to yourself. I don't know. I'm not sure. Now,
The best way I can answer that, Noreen, is that I'm very selective and careful what I'm saying in this house now. In this house, because the house listens. So when Carissa, when she's available, or we could set something up where I'll be far from the home and we can maybe do a broadcast, so I could talk in depth and get on for the listener and yourself.
Yes, I would love that. Yeah, it's the.
And I want to say that you have I want to say thank you for letting us come, and thank you, Dave Spinks, for the incredible work that you've done, Dave. It takes literally hours upon hours to dissect the video, audio. So my hat is off to you. Thank you very much. And we're going to get out of the room and out of the base because it's not friendly, it's not good, and I hope it's an okay night for me and the family.
Oh, I do too. I'll pray for you, Phil.
Yeah,
I really
guys,
do.
You guys cleanse, man.
Yeah, everybody send positive thoughts and prayers to Phil and his family, and Carissa as well. And Phil,
Thank you for having us.
Oh, my pleasure. And we'll get in touch next year and have you come back in another location if you would do that. I'd love to have you back, and Dave as well. I hope Dave goes back and does another live or another.
I'll be back home January.
Okay. All right. Yes, get in touch with me when you get back, okay? I want to wish you happy holidays. Okay, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'll talk to you guys next year.
You too. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Good night, Phil. Good night, Carissa. Good night, Mary.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you for being on the show. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Hey, Dave, will you, now everybody, don't forget, Dave, go over to his YouTube channel, and he's going to be showing the live investigation at Phil's house, and it's absolutely amazing, okay? You've got to see it. I saw it last night. It was unbelievable. And everybody, I need to close the show tonight. I won't be able to do shout-outs. Dave, you're breaking up.
Okay.
What do you want to say? Go ahead.
The video is called Malevolent Horsefly House. I just made it public.
Okay, so did you all hear that? It's called the Malevolent House?
Malevolent Horsefly House.
Okay, Malevolent Horsefly House on Country Roads Paranormal TV. And I don't have time. I can't do shout-outs, or if I do, I won't be able to edit the show. I hope you guys understand. I thank you so much for being in the show tonight and being in chat and watching the show. I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'm done for the month, and my next show will be January 7th with Dave Spinks and David Weatherly, and our show is Missing in the Woods. People who go missing in national forests and in the woods. So I'm really excited about that. And we'll have some true cases as well.
Yep.
Say goodnight, Dave.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Good night, everyone. Thank you. Love you guys. Thanks.
I'll call you.
All right.